Good morning, YouTubers. All right, we are back on the trail after taking a day off yesterday. I had some things to do in the morning, but if you can tell, you probably recognize this wire here. We are back on the Monarch Marker. And last time I was out here, which today is Friday, it was Wednesday, and I rode the X-Peak after not riding it for a while. And now I'm back on the Marker. I tell you what, the Marker is the bike. No more trying to guess which bike you'd rather have. If you like the upright riding, which I guess I tend to like it. I didn't know, because when I bought the X-Peak, I thought that was it. And it was comfortable and everything was fine, but after riding the upright bike for a while, this is much nicer. This is much more comfortable, less weight on your arms, more relaxed riding style. I feel like I'm more focused on this bike, because good morning, because I'm just kind of like sitting in a chair, I feel like the way you sit at a dining room table is very similar to how you ride this bike, ride a bar stool. So it's very comfortable, very natural, and this bike is much easier to pedal. And I'm currently in pedal assist 2, which I can barely read it, but I think it's Breeze. Don't quote me, it's yellow. And I want to try riding around in this one for a little bit. When I rode the X-Peak, I was in PAS 2 for quite some time. And the bike, was able to handle all the ups and downs, and it wouldn't slow me down enough. And I mentioned in my last video that this bike, when you are at speeds sub 6 miles an hour, it's a little harder to balance. So I kind of want to prove that out. So I'm in pedal assist 2 right now. We've got a little incline going here. I'm going to shift my gear here, maybe to second gear. And I just want to see how it does, because now that I know how the X-Peak does it, which is no problem, I could be on PAS 2 the entire ride. And now I'm back on the Marker. And so far, so good. This is a little bit of an incline here where you would not be able to pedal this very easily. This would be harder to pedal straight. I did move my phone mount a little bit further down so I could aim my phone more forward, so you're seeing less of the bike but more of the path. I assume that's my phone. Right? And this is a little bit of an incline here. We're going 8.8 miles an hour. And I'm pedaling. Not bad. I do have all the settings defaulted. I did go back and default all the settings. So I just wanted to make sure this is the experience out of the box. And I could tell here, bike does slow down. I'm going 6.6 miles an hour. You probably see me zigzagging here because it is a little bit harder to balance this bike when you start going very slow. And now it's going to level out, and PAS 2 is going to end up being a little too fast, because now I'm coming on a downhill, and let's see if I can turn this over so you can see. Too far away, but 11.6 miles an hour right now. And this downhill here, I'm going to try to leave it on PAS 2, see what happens here. Should be no problem. 21 miles an hour in that downhill. PAS 2 does give you a little bit of a boost to get up the hill. No problems getting up that hill, none at all. A little faster than I'd like it to be on PAS 2. Because I feel like it's just giving you, it's not full power, but it is full speed. If that makes any sense. So you get enough to get you over the hill, but the thing just keeps accelerating. It wants to get to 28 miles an hour, which I'd be injured on this trail at that speed. I would easily slip and fall at that speed. This trail, I would say, even at straightaways, no problem, but some of these turns are pretty aggressive. And even though I do have the fat tire, which, like I said, I don't know if that's better or worse for taking these turns. And in my mind, it sounds better because you've got more tire on the road. And if you look at like race cars, they usually have fatter tires. But And again, in the snow, a thinner tire is supposed to be better. So I don't know. But when the front tire starts to slip on this thing, it's a little scary. The back, maybe not as much, but when the front slips, that does worry me a little more. So here, see PAS2 is up to 14.5 miles an hour. Use the gears here a little bit. Let's see how it's going. Yeah, it's giving me enough here. Person I just rode by had a rear view mirror attached to their hat. I've not seen that before. Must be concerned about people coming up on him while he's walking. Interesting. I'd like to have one of those. Yeah, and if you have any ideas of what mirror to get on these bikes, that'd be nice. So here you can see now I'm going 5 miles an hour. I think the X-Peak handles low end torque a little bit nicer than the Monarch. Monarch has the power, it just doesn't manage it right. So here you can see I'm going 5 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour, almost at a complete stop. 3.8 at PAS2. I can make it up this hill, not as smooth as the X-Peak on PAS2. If you compare PAS2 on both bikes, and you're just looking at PAS2, default settings on the Monarch, the X-Peak wins in PAS2. Just usability, smoothness, power delivery. And we made it through. I did not change it. Normally, I would have probably gone to 3 or 4 to get me over that hill and then settled back down to 1 or 2. And as I mentioned before, I don't know all the names for the power systems on the Monarch, so just assume 1 through 5, 5 being boost, 1 being the first level. I'm in 2, which is yellow, which I could barely read it, not my glasses, but I think it's breeze. And that's what you find yourself doing on the Monarch, is you're just constantly toggling through the PAS levels just to keep your riding at a consistent speed, going up things, you know. The X-Peak, you could leave it on PAS2 the entire ride. You'll never even change it. Very little, unless you're crossing streets and need a little more boost. Good morning. Here's another uphill. Give it the same PS I would normally do, or pedal that I would do. See, I'm slowing down. 5.5 PS2. Let me get this gearing better for me. I am now in first gear, highest crank in the back. You can hear the motor. 4.7 miles an hour. The X-Peak wouldn't have this problem here. And you can hear it leveling out. So I would assume it's using more battery there. I don't know, because the X-Peak doesn't have that problem on PAS2. The X-Peak would have just gotten you right up that hill on torque sensor. Now, if I put this bike on cadence sensor, all those problems that I'm talking about right now kind of go away. The problem then is the bike is going too fast all the time. You're constantly turning off the pedal assist just to regulate your speed, because it wants to get to the top speed, which every PS on here wants to get to 20 plus miles an hour. All of them do. It's just how long it's going to take you to get there. So I kind of don't like that. It'd be nice if they capped it. I know other people on YouTube have talked about maybe a possible over-the-air, OTA over-the-air software update that Monarch will start to release. So I'm really excited that they have that capability, because then you have something to look forward to. So these problems that they have now could just be, first year, first release problems. Let me put air quotes around everything I'm saying. These are all minor things. Everything I'm talking about now are not deal breakers. I still like the bike, and once you learn to deal with the nuances, you'll never deal. That kind of scared me. You'll never deal with them again. But nothing. I'm only giving you commentary because I have both bikes, and I know a lot of people have questions regarding the X-Peak and the Monarch. And I'll just default to the thing I've said in the last few videos. If you like the upright riding style, the Monarch is your answer. If you like the top speed and you're constantly wanting to hit that 28 miles an hour, the Monarch is the answer. Because the X-Peak's not going to get you to 28 very easily. I don't care what you do. You will have to work very, very hard at it. And all the problems that I'm talking about with the Monarch right now, I think could potentially be fixed with a software update. So they could be temporary things that I'm mentioning to you right now that will be fixed potentially in an update that they release when the app comes out. I think they said September timeframe, so another month. I'll get my smart helmet, and I'm a little excited about the smart helmet, but you get used to the helmets that you're wearing and the weight of them. And I've gotten used to the weight on this one, and I've gotten used to being able to wear my AirPods Pro 3s, listening to podcast or music, or even when I talk on the phone. So I know that this new model has all this capability built into it. The new helmet has speakers and microphones and all these things, but I don't think it'll be better quality than my AirPods, because my AirPods are right in my ear. So the other ones, the speakers are in the helmet, and the helmet doesn't cover your ears. So I'll be able to hear it, but then anybody else close to me will also be able to hear it. So here I am now in PAS3. And PAS3, to be honest, feels more like PAS2 on the X-Peak. On the lower side of things, on the low torque. So you'll find yourself riding around in higher PAS levels on the Monarch than you will on the X-Peak, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You just gotta get used to it. It's almost like I find myself riding in. I almost never ride in PAS1 on this bike, because actually I don't do it on the X-Peak either. PAS2, on this bike I'm 2-3 most of the time, and on the X-Peak you can just do 2, because 2 does everything you want it to do. So keep that in mind when you get these bikes. But not a problem at all. I got no issues on any of these pedal assist levels. The bike is still a good bike. Oh, I have my seat really high right now because I put the seat post off of the X-Peak, which is on here now. So I have the seat really high, so I'm literally teeter-tottering on my tippy toes. But a high seat post, I don't know, some people say there's all kinds of mathematical calculations on how you do the seat post. I like having the seat post higher. So I am literally on the tips of my toes. I mean, is that the correct form for this bike? Maybe, maybe not. But it feels very comfortable to me. Let's see here. Yeah. I forgot to bring my bag on the back of this bike today, so I'm kind of just a teeny bit nervous in my bag, which at some point I want to do a build out of a case for the X-Peak, because it does have a nice wide rack, and I want one of those nice hard cases that have the foam cutouts for some of the things that I want to put in there, because I don't ever open it, and now I just have like a bag with a bungee cord. It looks kind of silly. I really don't like the way it looks. But in there I've got a patch kit, a little air pump, one of those little battery air pumps, little crowbars and stuff that would fix a flat. And when I left this morning, I left it on the back of the X-Peak, because that's the last bike I rode. So I'm winging it right now, praying I don't have an issue. But if I do, I guess I'll have to call someone to come pick me up. I figured out a way to load this bike into one of my cars. So I'm kind of hoping I don't have a problem now. So that's another thing, you get range anxiety, but then you get anxiety of possibly having a flat tire or something else happen on the trail. Didn't bring my water, which that I'm okay with. I usually don't even drink water while I'm riding here. I should, but because I have it in the back, I don't have a water bottle holder, I have to pull over, undo the bungee cord, and do all kinds of things, which I won't do. So I drank a good amount before I left. But as I'm talking to you this whole time, I had it on PAS3, and it was just a smooth, consistent pedal. Worked nice, but no real work out there. So like I said, PAS3 on here is more like 2 on the XP. And 3 runs nice. So let's see how it does up on this hill here, which I'm going to leave it on PAS2 now because that's what I did with the X-Peak last time I went. Let's just see how it handles. I'll eventually turn it up here because it's a long way and I'll be here forever. Get my gearing correct. So you can see I'm going 7 miles an hour right now, really slowing down quite a bit. Yeah, it's almost too slow, 6 miles an hour now. You can see the uphill here. 6.7. All right, let's go to PAS3. No, 2. No, 3. 3. See what 3 does. 7 miles an hour. Just gives you a boost. This is what PAS2 feels like on the XP. 9 miles an hour. Gearing right now. It's pedaling too fast. Yeah. Now I'm riding much slower than I normally would right now. And running. A second, just slowing down here, let the bikers go by.
Yeah, and I'm never the guy charging off the phone.
Those guys are real bikers. 10 speed. Almost looks like a 10 speed with mountain bike type. The guy on the left has a mountain bike with the wide handlebar. The other 2 have the curled handlebars. They're cruising. Let me try to keep pace with them. It's not faster, actually. And they're doing, I'm doing 20 miles an hour. Probably starting to catch up to them. I would say they're on a pace of about 18 miles an hour. They will have to slow down that too. Yeah, see, right here, that was kind of crazy. They just took that turn, no problem. They got full Tour de France gear on. But interesting, so they took that turn faster than I felt comfortable doing it here. So maybe the thinner tire does kind of dig in a little more. If you guys know the difference between a thinner tire and a fat tire on a paved trail, as far as handling goes, like taking some of these turns, I'd be curious to know if you've done both. My only experience is on a fat tire, and I'll tell you what, those guys there took that turn much faster than I would have felt comfortable doing that. They're still pulling away from me. And they are not on electrified bikes, they are just regular old pedal bikes. So, interesting. Yeah, those guys were flying. I didn't see any gear on any of them other than a water bottle. Maybe they're not as concerned about flats. And one of the other things I want to talk about flats, I know I mentioned that earlier. These bikes do come pre-installed with slime. And I had my first experience not with getting a flat, but just what the slime looks like when you're putting air or taking air out of your tire. I know in one of my other videos I told you guys that the back tire on here wouldn't seat correctly. I finally was able to get it to seat better, not 100%, but way better. There's still a little something in there, but not enough for me to go through the whole process again. But I took the air out of the tire maybe 10 times. And it really matters where your valve is when you're taking the air out. I think most tendencies for people is for the valve to be closest to the ground, so at the bottom of the tire when your bike is upright. However you have your bike. I had my bike upside down. But most tendency is to have the valve facing up, meaning that the valve is at the bottom, because that's how you would normally fill it with air. I would not recommend doing that because the slime all flows, gravity flows to the bottom, and if you have the valve at the bottom, it just accumulates a lot of slime, and you'll start seeing slime coming out of the thing, and you'll get it on your hand or if you're using a tool or if you're pulling out the valve, removing the valve, you're going to have a mess on your hands. So I've heard people say have the valve in the 12 o'clock position, so up to the top, valve facing downward, so your slime runs down to the bottom of the tire and you have less waste. So, all right, little full power run here. I don't know if you heard that, but that is something that happens on this bike a lot. When the torque hits your brake disc in the back, I don't know if there's some flex to it, but you'll hear it hit the brakes just while you're accelerating, just on the power stroke. So I don't know if there's a torque band that, when it torques, things bend and move. And so I wonder if there's something on, not a big deal, because it only happens for like 1 second. So if you replay the video, right at the end of that tunnel, you'll hear like a metal sound, and it's basically the rear disc brake touching the pads. And I think that only happens when you give it full torque, and there must be some flexing going on there. But the X-Peak does it too. It's just a little louder on this bike. I haven't charged this bike in a couple days. My battery indicator is a little bit lower than I'd like it to be. I'm at 51.6 volts, and the X-Peak, like I said, kind of keeps you in limbo because it would always show full. Here, the battery indicator is green. I don't know if it stays green. I wasn't able to get it down far enough to see if the battery indicator changes colors. It is green, but there is a little bit of white that I can see to the right of it. So I can, like your battery is draining kind of. Because I have been in PAS2 a lot here. So I'm going to go back to my regular riding style here, where I am really not using pedal assist on these straightaways. Not that I'm worried about draining the battery. I know it'll make it back home, but I don't know. It's just, I like having a full battery all the time in case I need it. So it does come with a second battery, but I think I mentioned I'm a little bit of a minimalist. So bringing that second battery, man, I don't even know, to be honest, how you would bring that with. You'd have to have a pannier bag or whatever you call it on the back. I feel like it would hit my legs, maybe on the backstroke, or I don't know. The battery's big. That's a lot of extra weight. Every time you hit bump, a little mouse. Oh no, you would hear that thing would be bouncing around. You'd have to have like a padded bag and really strap it down tight. Here. Oh, someone's dog just right in the middle of the trail. It'd be nice if they were able to scoop it off to the side, but no. See, I'm in PAS3 right there. I would have been in 2. Beautiful day out today. Temperature is perfect. I am in a t-shirt. I am not wearing a hoodie. So, good day for a ride. Good day for a ride. I was using ChatGPT to ask about weight loss. I have one of those smart scales. I've got a buddy that makes fun of me because it's an electric bike, thinking that it's not any exercise. Well, I guess I've proved you guys all wrong, because my muscle mass has gone up by a few pounds, and I will have to attribute that to pedaling on the bike, because you're working out your thighs, which may be one of the largest. I'm not a fitness expert, don't get me wrong, guys. Do your own research. One of the bigger muscles on your body. So something is going on with my legs. Now, I do get home and I do feel very tired sometimes after a bike ride. Get some trail maintenance here, real wide. So you will get exercise, even if you're a kind of rider that's always on pedal assist. If you're always on pedal assist, you're still pedaling. So there's still something going on there. nice. Yeah, nice little downhill here. So you will lose weight. I wouldn't say you lose weight. You will get exercise bike riding because you're still pedaling. You're still moving your legs. Now, how much energy you want to put into it is up to you. So if you don't exercise at all and you get out on an electric bike and just moving your legs around, that's burning more calories than sitting on the couch. And what's neat about it is that you can choose how often you want to pedal here. It's not like a bicycle, regular non-motorized bike. When you're out there, you're out there. You got no choice. You want to get home, you got to pedal your way. So it's really impacting your range because you're constantly thinking like, am I able to make it back? If you're not an avid biker. Avid bikers probably love to go further. But here's nice. Like right now I'm on no pedal assist. This is pretty smooth here. And I turn it on and off and I get a little exercise and then I calm down a little bit. See here, I have to use pedal assist to get up this hill. As I said before, this bike is easier to pedal, but you're still not going up these hills with 80-pound bike, 240-pound rider. The bike may actually be heavier. The bike may be 60 to 80 without the battery. So you're looking at 350 pounds, 300 plus pounds of weight that you're trying to pedal up some sort of hill. So keep that in mind. A beautiful day today. Wow, I'm glad I came out today. Weather is nice. I'm on PAS2 now. Just nice smooth pedal. PAS2 on a no incline. This is paved. It's actually very nice. Very nice speed. Very nice speed. As you can see, I'm going 12 miles an hour, just slightly faster than a runner would be running. And a little bit of an incline here. Let's leave it on PAS2 with my consistent pedal. Get my gearing right. Second or third gear right now. It doesn't have, no, it just has 1, 4, 6, and 9. So when it's in the middle, I assume it's between whatever gear. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Here is a nice little straightaway. I can usually pick up some speed, so leave it in PAS2. And just start pedaling a little harder. See, 15, 16, not even trying very hard. 17, just enough. This is almost like a little bit of a downhill. It's hard to see, but it's very little. 18, you can hear me going through the gears. 19, and I have to slow down. Folks chatting on the path. So you see, it will get you to 20 miles an hour and excess of 20. You really got to put some effort into it to get past 20. Get to 20 is pretty easy. That is something I like about the Monarch when you're on the roads. You know what's interesting is the bike wants to go faster, and you feel the limiter cut you off. On the X-Peak, I know I told you guys this, getting to 28 is very hard to do, so you're really pushing. Once you exceed 22, 24 miles an hour, the X-Peak's the Monarch's got so much power. It feels like when you're going, let's just say 26, it gets you to 28 so fast that the power cuts out and the bike slows down. You feel it. It's like your cruise control going up and down hills. This thing, if that limit was taken off, I think this bike would go 30, 40 miles an hour. Seriously. It's accelerating at a rate that if the limiter was removed, I think it would hit 40 miles an hour, no problem. Because you feel it. You feel it pull from 26 to 28, and then at 28, you're pedaling away nice and easy, and then it cuts the power when it gets to like 29. The power gets cut, it brings you back down to maybe 20, 27 or low in the 28 band, and then it gives you power again. So that comes back to when I mentioned how this bike's a little jumpy, a little jerky, because it just gives you full power. It doesn't give you a blend of power to get you up, because going from 27 to 28 doesn't require full power. It should just give you a little consistent push. It should regulate itself, but it doesn't. I mean, this thing, you go 27 miles an hour, pedal assist 5, you pedal, it goes really fast to 28, cuts it back down to 27, pushes again, and you're stuck in this seesaw of just going fast and slowing down, fast and slowing down. And like I said, it's okay when you're going that fast, but it is a little jerky. It is a little jerky. I mean, you are going back and forth on the XP. You don't see that because it's just you can't get to 28 very easily. So I'm running. So that's another to consider. But I think I'm going to cut it there, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me, watching this video. I'm almost at the halfway mark here, going around the Rollins Savannah. Water levels are down. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or want to know something else, want me to do a video regarding something with the bikes, let me know and I'll try to get to it. But you guys have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we will catch you next time. Over and out.